Shall we turn the
fan
down? We'll probably turn it down a bit. All right. Are we ready?
Well, we are. Says we are on air. I'm not seeing it on Udicci.TV only because on the phone it doesn't seem to work for me. So, I go directly. Udicci.TV. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. All right. We're ready. Whenever
All right.
you are.
Let's begin.
Hold on. I gotta get your mic on. Yep. Okay. So let me. That's interesting. They can actually hear it coming through the mic.
Yeah, what?
So we'll talk about it later. Whenever you're ready.
All right, go ahead and bring us in. And we're going to do an actual walk-in, but I just don't know where is my camera, Tim?
Your camera is
Uh,
this one over here.
I'm over here, straight. I'm looking straight at it now.
Yes.
See, 'cause I can't tell. Because if I'm looking at the camera, I can't see. So that's a little freaky. I'm okay. Right, but
No, I get you.
okay. So anyways, welcome back to Udicci Updates. For all of you who tune in each week, we want to say hello to somebody. I'm not quite sure if anybody's tuning in yet. And I get that. I get it. Right? Nobody still quite gets what we're doing, but we're trying. We're trying our hardest and and our fastest. Wait, do I have to go more, Tim? Are you saying
No, you're good.
I'm okay? I mean, but the camera shot. Should I be more in the orange? Like,
Oh, you want me to?
should I, no. I mean, like, should I be? Right.
Probably sitting upright more.
More.
Yeah, that's kind of
Serious?
half. No.
No?
Go a little bit more.
You want me to move? Actually, so
Towards
more
you.
like I'm gonna be
Yeah, right there.
right here at the edge.
Yes.
Right here at the edge. Okay, the hair is out of control. I haven't had the haircut when I was supposed to have the haircut, but here we are nonetheless, and a most beautiful young lady and woman have just walked into the studio, and if you were here, you'd know who they are, but you are not here, so you just have to know that we have beautiful women now in the studio. So, how are we? How are we doing over there?
I think we're doing okay.
We're doing okay. And now, do you have our format up yet? Because we do have a format for this show, and it's very
I
important.
knew I'd forget something.
It's okay. We're moving at the speed of social media. Anybody who actually wants to pay attention at this point can really get it, because we're live, and I'm just filling. Oh, okay.
Right, loose talk for 5 minutes. At this point, we're coming up on the end of that one, so.
Very cool. Loose talk for 5 minutes. I think
And then
we
a
kind of
2-minute
did
break.
loose talk, right? And what is it when we come back?
2-minute break, and then we're coming back with media chatter.
Media chatter when we come back.
Oh, you want to actually go now? A minute
Oh.
early.
Oh, I
What
thought
time
you
does
were
that say?
leaving that. 6:34?
Okay, so that 6:35 is when you're going to switch.
At 6:35, we're gonna switch.
Now you're going to switch.
So now we have to go to more loose talk because we aren't quite ready to, now it's 6:35. Tim, quick. We're done. We're done with loose talk. Okay, good.
Ow.
Hi.
I don't know if that's cutting the sound out or not.
It's not bad. Did you see the shot? What'd you think? It's a start, right?
All right, cool.
Well, it's been up for minutes. It's a start, right? So whatever the numbers
Sure.
I sit here, negotiate favorable terms on your behalf, and then you just try to throw me under the bus.
I should have been mad at her. Because I kind of was mad at her.
I gotta turn the music back on, or audio back on, and auto back in. Alright, you should be back now.
Okay, and we are back. And we are back with media chatter, and this is the segment each week where Tim has prepared a piece of media for us to discuss, and he is going to present that tonight, and we're just going to kind of hear his perspective on the whole thing. And so, when are you ready for that? Cue that up.
What are you... you didn't give me any media bit to have ready for tonight.
No. This is the segment where you have the media bit ready, and we talk about it.
I didn't realize I was responsible for that.
We just made that rule.
Well, I'm glad you just made that rule. Okay.
So, all right, that kind of means we may not have.
You want to talk
media
about
bit
that
tonight.
qubit?
What's that?
Qubit?
Yeah, actually, I was actually kind of kidding around. I know we had Qubit kind of ready. So Qubit, which is this really cool GoFundMe thing that's going on, is this whole idea. It's about the size of a quarter. You'll see the video here, but you can program these circuit boards to do some really cool things, and it's kind of like a drag and drop environment.
Give me a
so
minute. It's
you
not
can really
coming up right.
Basically, you can start to do anything. But right now, where circuitry was out of the hands of the masses, basic logic is all that you need to begin actually programming these qubit circuits. And from those qubit circuits, you can actually attach different pieces of hardware. Something might be like a hinge that opens a door. It could be a recording device. It could be a camera. It could be any number of, pretty much any kind of mechanical device could be added to a qubit. So you could begin to chain qubits together that actually can accomplish basic manufacturing in your own home. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, if you're ready, let's kind of run that video. It's pretty cool.
Everyone has creative ideas, but bringing to life ideas involving software and electronics can still be quite a challenge. Today, we're changing that. We're building a platform that enables anyone to create with software and electronics as easily as drawing a flowchart. We call it Qubit. My name is Tim. I'm a co-founder of Qfusion Labs and the lead programmer on Qubit. Usually, creating an electronic project means writing code and soldering. There's a steep learning curve just to set up an LCD screen. With Qubit, anyone can do it. Instead of writing code, you can express your logic visually. Instead of soldering, just plug in a single connector and the wiring is done. All you need is the Qubit controller, plug-and-play Qubit smartwares, and our drag-and-drop app, Qubit Workshop. Everything starts with an idea. We built Qubit from scratch, designing every software and electronic component to work seamlessly together. When you connect something to the controller, it's instantly recognized and ready to use in the workshop. If you can make a flowchart, you can make a program in Workshop. Just drag and drop to control any smartware. Hit launch to send your program wirelessly to the controller and watch your vision come to life.
My name is Jason Gabb, and I'm a co-founder of Qfusion Labs. Before Qubit, I was an electrical engineer. In second grade, my dad taught me basic electronics and programming, and it opened up a world of new things I could create, and I've always wanted to share that experience with everyone.
I'm Marvin, and I'm also co-founder of Qfusion Labs. Growing up, my brother Jason was always more into hardware, and I was always more into software. We said, let's create something that would make life easier for both of us. We wanted to make it simple to create new projects, allowing us to focus more on the ideas instead of having to solve hardware or software problems.
One fun project we did is we called the secret book structure, like something out of Indiana Jones. There's a qubit inside that book that sends a signal wirelessly to another qubit inside a wooden chest that opens up on its own and illuminates the LED.
My name is Kaite Ogenkova and I'm an interaction designer. I use Qubit to work on my interactive art projects, particularly programming light and motion. It was incredibly easy to use. I didn't need to go into any of the technical details and could really focus on the design.
Qubit is easy to learn, but it's also a powerful platform that will grow with you. For more experienced makers, we provide a library that allows you to control hardware directly. You can create custom blocks and even create your own smartware. Imagine if you could automate your home, add movement to your art projects, or create a one-of-a-kind toy for your kids. What would you build with Qubit? We have a local manufacturer right here in the San Francisco Bay Area ready to go, and we're currently beta testing our prototype.
So, yeah, Qubit there. That is so cool. Go out, I think it's a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter. Just, I mean, Google Qubit, find them online. You got to learn more about what these guys are doing. It's so cool. It's so cool. And we have this same kind of stuff happening right now in Rochester. And it's really limited right now. Technologies, guys, are only limited by your imagination. And, manufacturing is being put into the hands of the individuals. And with 3D printing, the next 5 to 10 years are going to be an incredible economic revolution.
1 minute break.
So what's that?
1 minute break.
1 minute? It's time for 1 minute break. Tim tells us. And when we come back, updates. I think it's updates.
When we come back, it is featuring. Which we don't-
Featuring. Well, let's see, if Chris comes in, we'll go to featuring, but if Chris doesn't come in, then
All right,
we'll go to updates.
all right. I gotta turn the sound on then.
Is the sound back on?
The sound is back on.
Okay. So each and every week we're trying to do this new featuring segment, and tonight we were going to have a gentleman, Chris McCamick, on the show, but he said he gets too offended if we say his name incorrectly, which is McCamick, so tonight's show will be canceled. Thank you for coming.
Killing me, Chuck.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. So we've talked a couple times, and I want to talk about Global Revolution Comics.
Let's
Am I
talk
saying it
about
right?
that. Yes.
Take the stage. Let's talk.
All right. So Global Revolution Comics is a project that was sort of a twinkle in my eye last year, and a few people came together and were having similar ideas, Dave being one of them. We've got Dave Ryan with us. He's a fine up-and-coming writer. And
Okay, real quick, we're going to go to a camera, but just so we're clear on this, you are to be seen and not heard. So just hold a second.
oh, really? I don't know about that.
Yes, it's here. It
See, this
is.
is-
All right, back here, enough.
This is exactly the hierarchy stuff, Chuck, that we're trying to get past.
I got you. I do understand that, but sometimes you must have structure.
We're already sitting at a higher table.
You were the one who asked for the higher table.
What? I did not ask for the higher table. You're making that up.
You're right. Let's talk comics.
Okay. So, Global Revolution Comics, I feel like we should have powdered wigs and robes. Not really.
So I'm like the criminal in this situation?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the whole. See, now, okay. Let's just. All right. Let the criminal speak. All right. Keep it back up here for a minute. Let's just get this straight. All right. I met Chris like ages ago, 2 weeks ago. And, since then we had lunch, we talked, and I was like, here's an interesting guy. And I'm like, come on, we gotta talk, you gotta hear what he has to say. Knowing that we're in the midst of trying to grow a mega corporation to take over the world, and, yesterday he's like, dude, can you add a third person? And I said, no, I can't, because we don't know what we're doing. So what does he do tonight? He comes and takes over everything. And apparently, that's the purpose of Global Revolution Comics, is to take over the world.
No, in fact, it's precisely the opposite. We're here to throw a monkey wrench in the works of people whose corporations are trying to take over the world and just say, you know what, there's probably something you should take over, but just put a lid on it. Well, everybody will play their part and it'll be good music. There's too much of that trying to take it all over. It's
And
getting
I
messy.
see you online, I mean,
Messy
you're
out there.
pretty like happy today that the banks were like completely put into place.
I don't know if I would say it that way, Chuck. You know, we had that
You cut out
conversation.
pretty much everything sarcasm that comes out right now. Okay, we're good.
You're throwing me high hard ones out over the plate here. Yeah, no, I think those guys are probably going to be laughing it up out in the Hamptons this weekend. If what was the fine? It was like 5 billion.
Right,
If that was the fine, I want to know what the take was, because clearly that's, you know, the financial system has gone off into imagination land.
And a lot of people, here's the thing for me, a lot of people don't necessarily understand, you know, you're like, oh, yeah, great, they're paying 5.8 billion. Here's what people have to understand. The banking industry, the markets, the financial markets are built on a few key components. One is to maximize profit, the other is to minimize loss. That's kind of straightforward and simple, right? So if somebody can manipulate the market, that means that they can ensure that they have the absolute least loss and they can pass that loss on to somebody else. Now, that's just like the kindergarten version of what people need to understand to begin this conversation.
I would say, yeah, do I have the floor? Can I jump in and build on that?
Absolutely.
Great.
Sure.
Because this is something, I'm not sure who we're talking to in our audience. I don't want to explain things people already know, but, you know, basic
Just assume
macro-
that we have no idea who's watching.
Yeah, we have no idea. Okay.
Right.
We'll assume it's somebody who desperately needs to hear what I have to say and what the
I
whole
think
thing.
that
Or
gentleman.
they'll turn it off. So
Yeah.
anyway, the point being, here's what frustrates me about the way that finance gets talked about in the media, and the way that government budgets and money in general gets talked about. I think that people are taken advantage of because people have a basic sense of morality about money. Because most people have to go out and earn money with their own behind some which way. Whether it's busting their butt in a factory, whether it's sitting in an office doing boring administrative work, some which way they have to work for their money, they know everybody else has to work for theirs, and the balance of money represents that balance of effort. That is not the case for privileged people like banks and especially the central bank, the Fed, who have the capacity, for some valid reasons within valid constraints, to create money out of thin air. And that's something that has been abused worse than any of us, myself included, really understand. But the overview stuff I'm seeing is absolutely appalling.
Now, there's a lot of conversations to be had out of everything you just said. But that's just one of those kind of issues that you're going to take on through comic strips?
That's a really good question, Chuck. And I think as we go forward, you know, we've been talking about this among ourselves. There's sort of two tracks that folks can expect from Global Revolution Comics. One of which is real story time, where we're here to have fun. It's going to be like Star Trek. It's going to be superheroes. We give ourselves poetic license. And I think that's a great way to talk about stuff where we are genuinely searching for things. There's sort of another distinct track where you really want to talk about something real. And my feeling as a storyteller, and Dave's here to be seen and not heard, apparently. We don't have a...
No, I can actually explain this in just a moment. We actually have to go to break here shortly, so we can do the next segment of the show. At which point, we'll finish at about 7 o'clock, right? And then we'd have you guys back on, and the first 10-15 minutes of that show, we'll actually talk Global Revolution Comics. Tess will then join us, and we'll take it into more of an actual community-based kind of conversation.
That would be great.
Right.
This is the point in the conversation I would love to have Dave jump in and have us have a little back and forth.
So,
I hate to be the one saying all this, but you know, it's my feeling as a storyteller is when you come into entertainment space, you have one responsibility to your audience, and that's a good story. After that, all bets are off, and that's the great thing about entertainment. The other thing is, we're sort of clearly announcing an intent. We have a spirit behind the types of stories we want to tell. That's why it's called Global Revolution Comics. So if there's something that we really want to be documentarian, factual, persuasive about, just write an essay or just openly say that. So we'll have sort of separate tracks that operate in those separate ways.
And just so, and you can correct me when we come back in about, I guess 10 minutes for you guys, but when we come back, the spirit behind that is actually a little bit of a spin than you explained what other comics do, and you're actually going to go toward the side of hope.
Absolutely, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, so let's definitely pick up the conversation right there, that you guys are actually going to be doing a new a version of storytelling with the intent of helping kind of make the change that we need to see, and that's being driven by a spirit of hope.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll do the Udicci updates, and we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
All right, sir. Thanks for coming.
Turn you back up. All right, you're back.
All right, so as is typical, we kind of always kind of run over on cool conversations, but they'll be back here in a moment, talk a little bit more global revolution. Then we're going to get into a conversation tonight. Choice, is it good for society? All right, so Udicci updates, what's going on and around Udicci in 2 minutes. First, I guess we need to say this. You're starting to see what Udicci.TV is. If you've been tuning in, you know that we've been trying to figure out what this studio space is, and Nareda gave us a great piece of advice early on. She said, you know what, just let this place kind of just become what it was meant to be. And at the time, we really kind of thought she meant like the studio itself, the space itself. And it's becoming that, but it's also shaping what Udicci.TV is as a whole. And this is what it's a place to come have conversations. And you get to kind of, there's some community guidelines that we want to have in there. Absolutely, we're looking for respect of one another. We're looking for appreciation of one another. And, there's a lot of things that are go and some things that we have to talk about, but it's just a space for us to get together and talk. If you have a business, it's a space to come together and reach others in your community. So it's kind of cool. So what you're seeing tonight is us kind of, again, playing with our set and trying to see if we can pull something together. In the background, you see the, what did I call this? Did anybody actually see my Facebook post? I forget what I called it, but it was kind of like our backyard oyster shuck and jive. So that is our, to me it's our Charleston bar. It's a reminder because we've got a goal that has been updated. We always knew that this was a goal that was out there. We thought it was in 2018, but we're now putting it out there to 2019 that we will be opening our Udicci studios down in Charleston in 2019. Now, I say that wondering, how are we going to get there? right? It's not like I get to just write the check today and do that, because we barely know how to write the check for what we're doing right now. But you know what, we've got to set those goals, and we've got to keep our goals out in front of us, and that's really what's brought us this far. We're 5 years into this thing, and we're just at the beginning, and it's going to move quick. It's a lot of fun. With that, another kind of update here. I'm out of time.
You're right.
I'm out of
Yep,
time.
you are out of
Tune in on First Friday for Udicci Review. Open mic on First Friday with Chappelle, who's, you guys got to meet Chappelle, and the stuff that's going to be on First Fridays. And we are done or out of time for updates.